everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It is 2023. I hope everybody had a great holiday and got to spend time with friends and family, or, that it was just a good time for yourself, a little mental reprieve, which, just like myself, we got on. I spent some time with the family and stuff, so now I'm back with some videos. Um, Today, we're going to kind of look at, we're starting a new year, so we're going to kind of get back to the basics on some things, some things we could be practicing to help ourselves get better. So, what we're going to do is we're going to practice anatomy from these 5 pictures right here. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of construct the bodies using basic shapes, kind of like if you go back and look at the old stick figure drawing, but we're going to go with more shape related things. So I'm going to start with the female up in the corner. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is get like the major areas, right? I want to make sure that I, pick appropriate um, shapes and things. Now you could do something like to kind of help your base, we have these things called a line of action, right? So if I look at the way she's standing, and we can refer to this line right here as her spine, right? And then from there, it makes it a little easier to just go ahead and build up the body into sections, right? So I can take that shape there. Now, if you wanted to, you could 3D it to help you get a better understanding for the direction that the things turn with the body, with the chest and the hips and things. Um, and then like for this mid region too, down into the hips. We can build up our body that way and get ourselves a nice little bend. Of course, we have the hip area down where the buttocks is. We can kind of build up a shape that way just to give us an idea of where the body is. Now we can always make adjustments later when it comes time to add or take away. But the whole point of this exercise is to just kind of get you back in the groove of designing and coming up with shapes to help you set up a pose first, and then go in and add muscle details, um, clothes, things like that. But this can help you really just kind of set up, um, what you want to do with your characters, right? So I got a circle here representing my shoulder. And then something else you can do that's a real simple shape to help you, get your arms in place is we can just use like a cylinder, right? So just think of the arm as a cylinder, having the open end kind of represent where the arm is going. Um, looking at the picture, she's got some nice long arms. So, probably uh, make it a little bit on the longer side, but just setting it up enough, knowing that your elbow connection is going to be right there. We can run another cylinder off of that for the forearm. Sorry, kind of like, and that's all we're doing is just to get back in the groove. I've been doing a lot of animation stuff lately on some personal projects that I'm still working on. So this is not only for your benefit if you haven't drawn in a while, but for my own, and just how to set up different things. For example, like with the hand, we can just use a simple rectangle shape, right? That could be the part that comes off there, and then we can build out a semblance of our fingers here that just kind of rotate back that way, right? So just constructing the different shapes that we would need to build a body, right? So we can have our kind of upper area of our cube, the top plane exposed, and then come in here, add in another cylinder for the neck. The head, we can keep a basic shape. It doesn't have to be anything, fantastic. It's just the shape of the head and what direction it's actually going in. You can draw a little line just so that you know that that's the front of the head. We're kind of looking downward at an angle. And then again, we have our shoulder circle right here. Again, just use a cylinder to kind of represent the arm itself for the bicep region. And then extending that up. Now I'm going to run out of space on here, but you get the idea. We're just kind of adding in our construction shapes. Now the arm does kind of bend a little bit, so I'm going to turn my cylinder that way. We get our arms, and if you think about it, it's really just cubes and cylinders for the most part on your average person. Okay, so we're just going to kind of come in here and build up. We can use another circle to kind of represent our kneecap down here on the leg. And bring that down. Now you can draw as big or as small as you want. And we can just use a block shape for our foot. So again, this can help you just kind of set up and view. Now, doing this one time is not going to be enough to get you where you want to be. You have to practice this. So this is just something to get into practice, because I can look at my picture right now and see things that I need to work on, which is like my spacing. So like where my upper torso looks really good, my legs are looking kind of short, right? So that's something that I would want to fix and adjust when I start drawing the rest of the character out. Now we're not going to do that today, but these are things that you should be able to take your artwork and look at and just be able to go, hey, these things turned out good. You have to be kind of your own worst critic when doing these things, okay? So when you're running through these practices, and they just can help you build up an anatomical construction, right? So the next one we're going to do is we're going to do the female at the top that has the kickboxing gear on. So again, your choice. You don't have to do it that way, but like I can, draw the line of action. So I have my neck right here, kind of comes back into the spine or chest area, kind of turns and comes down. You can choose to do that, or you can choose to go straight into drawing the shape. So again, I'm going to get my kind of my boxed shape here and have that come down at the angle that she is facing. Right? I can have, the top part of my cube here, and we can take that down, and that'll be the side of that. And then we can come in and get the abdomen area as well. Okay, so like I said, this is kind of like a getting back to basics. If you have taken a break or anything along those lines. You know, up in here we get our shoulder, and then I can build my cylinder off of that. You know, getting my bicep area. And notice how I'm just staying nice and loose. I'm not erasing too much unless it just looks absolutely off. Because the thing that a lot of people tend to forget is when you're practicing something, yes, you know, drawing does make you better. It does. Sitting here and practicing drawing, but continually practicing the wrong thing over and over again is not going to help you improve at all either, right? So if you continue to draw a certain way and you're not showing any improvement, it's because you're not taking the time to recognize the mistakes that you're making either. You have to be your own worst critic. Now, I'm not telling you to be a perfectionist either, but when it comes to things like anatomy and getting it correct, then yes, you do kind of need to sit there and go, you know, hey, this hand looks really wonky and it is not looking good at all. So maybe I need to work on hands some more. Maybe I need to go out and buy me a nice little anatomy book, or just look at these pictures and study some more, right? So we do kind of have to keep those things in mind. Okay, so don't ever get discouraged. Just recognize the mistakes that you make. Okay, so again, I'm getting kind of that underwear shape for the pelvic region so that I can come in here now and again build up a cylinder for the leg. So that would be my thigh, and then I have my kneecap kind of down here on the end, and then my cylinder starts to turn down this way. Now you do have to take in mind foreshortening, right? So as it fades in the distance, it's going to get skinnier as it goes down, and then bring out that box shape for the foot. Now again, are there some things off? Yes, but again, with art, it is a learning process. You are going to make mistakes. It's learning from those mistakes that is the most important aspect about learning how to draw. Okay? So, would I personally draw this way anyway? No, because I have enough experience that I don't need to anymore. But I do know that it does take some people longer if they've been out of the saddle a little, for lack of a better term. So these are basic positions, and I'm just going to work in a cylinder for the neck, and my head is kind of turned this way. So see how I'm just kind of drawing it in front of the neck. And we have our eyes right here. So looking and comparing the two, there is way more of a twist to the body, which would take it back more. And I'm just making this correction right now just so you can see what I'm talking about, learning. I am hyperextending too much of the body and stretching it too far. There should actually probably be more of a turn this way. And the more and more you practice and build that stuff up, the more you're going to be able to get better at it. Okay, so it's just a basic form. Now, the reason why I added on like a picture like this one is because I want you to be able to do all kinds of body types, right? We don't want to just not every character should be, this perfect specimen of a human being as far as health and things like that go. Um, there are big bodied people, there are small bodied people, there are skinny, short, and things like that. So these are things that you do have to practice. And again, I'm just going to draw kind of over the top of it. But again, we can start with the body. So let's look at the bigger aspects of the shapes that we see. So like in the chest area here, we kind of have almost like this pyramidal shape or a pyramid. Like it starts that way, but then it has a curve under, right? And then we can use more of a rounded shape for the stomach area, right? And if you want to help keep yourself turned the right way, you can add in these lines to show you where the body is at. Now, because there is more weight than muscle on the body, our shoulders are a lot flatter. So coming off this area here, we can do more of like an ovular shape, right? And then let's look at the arm. So instead of a cylinder shape, we would kind of want to do more of like a bean type shape to get that on there. So we could still put like a small elbow, and we could still do a cylinder for our forearm, right? And then that again will just in turn take us down to our hand, which we can just use represented by a square. You get your thumb. Now you could cut your fingers up if you wanted to. That way there's that kind of look of a bend to it. But right now it's just about the body positioning and getting things set up into place that way. So because of the shape of our body, depending on what the character's doing, whether they're like waving and going high, or they're just sitting there, we would want to make sure that we understand that we would not see most of the arm on the other side of the body, but we can still get a box shape for the hand right here and kind of have our thumb come out, and then our fingers just kind of come out of there as well. So again, we're not working on the huge finer details of the image. What we're working on is building up the shapes in the body to give our character the look that we're going for. So again, I can use more of an arched cylinder, and then our thigh would probably actually come out more from here. Right? And even so, looking at, just this design here, I can already tell things that I would fix and adjust to make better. Like my thighs should probably actually come out this way a little bit more, because the things you want to look at is, the weight of the body and how it's sitting. So like the where everything this is here, this should probably cut down more this way. And we take and use that. And then, have the rest of the body here. I still can come in and set up my face. and head. Right? So, again, free flow a little bit and just kind of let go and just let it set up. And once you get kind of enough repetition in that, you can start, you know, doing other things to help you get, you know, I guess it would be just anatomically correct, get things. There's nothing wrong with, like, if you're doing a cartoon character, like, say my head's really small, like, I could go crazy and just really build this dude up and just make him huge and have this huge body, maybe shorter, stubbier legs where he's just kind of short down to here. I mean, that's going to be your creative process, but getting down this part first is really what you want to go for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the page, and we're going to do these other two. Okay, so I'm going to go to the bottom left down here, the guy doing the pose. Okay, again, I can do a line of action from the neck, and then my back rolls down and comes out this way. Okay, so again, that is your choice. You could just start building the shapes if you want, but sometimes line of action can help, right? So like, let's say we don't start with the top, right? We could just come in here and start building up the pelvic region first, just so that we have a nice, correct spot to bend, right? But the rest of this is, if we look, the back is really kind of turned. So now that I kind of have that, rear shape in there, I could actually put more of a bend in the spine and build up that way, right? So I can run my shoulders across, again, knowing that my initial box shape is going to be here on this side, right? So we can go ahead and we can close that off. And then my abdomen area is actually going to be turned, because we should be able to see part of it from the front right here. And that would actually represent the front side of my body here. So like where my chest is kind of turned and that comes down, this will be the front side on this side right here. This is where the front side of my abdomen would be. And then we can come in and add in like our circle. And this is the step that a lot of people like to skip, is the actual learning of the anatomy. People just want to like go straight in and start drawing, I don't know, Goku from day one, and don't understand why they don't get better. And just unfortunately, that's just how art works. Now, if you just like to follow along and draw, you can come in on my, Fundar Friday days, and you just want to follow along and draw, that's fine. But for those who want to like kind of take it serious and get better, these are things that you need to be practicing. Okay, and it's a little awkward for me because, like I said, I don't draw like this anymore because I have a good idea of how the anatomy should be. So this is good practice for me to go back to basics and see what it's like. But I'm still just using those basic shapes to help me build different poses. So we got ourselves a nice square here for the hand. Again, we can just build out our thumb. They don't have to be perfect. I mean, and, if you want to take the time to do that, great. It's only going to help you more. It is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it won't. Um, um, if you want to build out the sections of the fingers and stuff like that, like I said, it's only going to help you, because see what happens is it kind of looks kind of cartoony. But again, that's kind of the reason why we're doing this. I'm showing you the do's and the don'ts and things like that. So now we have this defined cylinder here, right? Our leg's kind of turning off kilt to come out this way. So we really, and so like if you were doing like a cartoon version of this pose, you could stretch and over exaggerate, what it is you're trying to do with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, that's when you're going more for like style than anything else. But when it comes to just building your basic shapes, that's what you're actually going for. Now, something else to be careful of, because see, I've already noticed that I've done it. Because I'm restricted by the edge of my book, I am forcing myself to draw the leg down where it should actually probably go back this way more. So again, these are things that you need to keep in mind when you go to correct yourself. And see, I'm just staying nice and loose. I'm not going for perfection. I'm just learning to kind of build up the body with shapes. Okay, so this is good just for constructing the aspect of drawing, as far as like being able to build up from scratch like this. If you were just trying to go off, you can sit there and then start learning the muscles and how they attach and things like that. But again, take it a step at a time. Let this 2023 be your art journey of actually wanting to learn and actually get better. Make that a nice little resolution for yourself. Bring that down. Okay, so again, look and analyze. So what did I need to do? This looks okay, right? But what needed to be fixed is this. There's more of a squat coming down. So again, analyze your work when you're done. See what you need to work on and move on from there. So we're going to do one more. We're just going to do this kind of sumo samurai guy. Okay. Again, another kind of big body, but more of a muscular, tone to it. Okay. So what that can allow you to do is finally get to this stage, right? Where you just start coming in and realizing and recognizing what it is you're trying to draw and create, noticing where certain aspects of the body go to help you build up. Because we've been sketching so loosely, it'll help us get to a stage where we can get to here, where we can just start drawing what we see. And because you know how your body is set up from all the practice that you've been doing, it's not as difficult to just quickly come in and get the big items from your image that you're trying to do. Like something as simple as getting the baseline of the clothes that they're wearing. And again, this is just going to be from studying anatomy. This is not like to draw a picture of someone and, claim it 100% as your own is not what I'm getting at. But to just kind of take it and get yourself set up a little bit quicker when you're working on poses, right? So I can come in here and build up my sword shape. And again, it's not going to be perfect. That's not the point. The point is to try to get quicker and get it down on paper. Then you can go in and make adjustments to size, shape, what it's supposed to look like with detail. But this can be just a way to help you, set all that up. So I'm kind of working in around the neck area, down into the head. And I'm kind of limiting myself with my hand being propped up against, the side over here. So that's kind of my fault. I still have a face down here. So again, this was just all about getting back to the basics, getting you all nice and loosen up again. So if you hadn't done it in a while, or you're new to the channel and you're just trying to get it back into it, these are some things that you can do to help yourself, get better as you go. Okay, now I'm not going to draw every detail in here, just the parts that I need to kind of help me get the idea of how the rest of it's going to go. Again, if you're new to the channel, you can go back and check out some of my other videos where I show you how to draw with stick figures to get to this point, things like that. Like I said, I still do have some projects that I'm working on that are going to require some of my attention, but I will try to keep consistently getting plenty of videos out during the week, so I please just ask that you bear with me. Again, I hope everyone had a wonderful New Year break, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I just hope you had a good, safe holiday. Just kind of draw that top knot on there. Okay, so again, if you look at it, the goal wasn't to match perfectly. It was to look at just how to start building up and seeing shapes, using construction of shapes that help you get to this stage, that help you later learn how to see, anatomy positioning. Like I said, there's still adjustments that you can make from here, but eventually you can get to a point to where you don't have to do that, okay? So anyway, if you guys have ideas for videos that you want to see, especially if you're new to the channel, go back and look at some of my videos, see if my drawing style and skill is where you like to see it. Other than that, y'all can help me out tremendously by leaving a comment of what you would like to see for me to draw for you guys for art lessons. We do Fun Draw Fridays, Tiny Tuesdays, where we draw more cutesy things like that. But yeah, leaving a comment helps me. I'm not worried about having a bajillion subscribers and what helps the channel that way. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the 310 of you guys and ladies that want to actually learn how to draw. I need to hear from you what you want to learn about, okay? Or else I'm just going to keep kind of winging it like I am. Other than that, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Until next time, keep sketching, and I will see you in the next one, all right? Bye.